Hey guys, it's Jan, also known as Unbluster, and today we are going to be doing a new series of videos essentially because I don't really have a lot of time to do any more build stuff. I'm essentially going to be working kind of like 6 days a week now, so essentially I really only have one day to be able to dedicate to make a video, and build videos just aren't going to be something that's going to be easy for me to do. I mean, doesn't mean that I won't be able to do them anymore, but if I do them, like it just is gonna take so much time because just doing the build and then also doing the editing takes so much time. So instead of that, so that I could at least give you guys some more consistent content on the Tamiya side of things, I can still do a build overview. And this is essentially one of the cars from one of the racers over here at DXN Provisions. Danny, he's been working on this car for a while now, and it's pretty much finished. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the car and essentially grade it in terms of how good it is overall. So I'm gonna be giving it some sort of like three different criteria essentially. Two of them are basically specifically for the build quality, and then of course the last one, we still want to do aesthetics a little bit too. So essentially one is for aesthetics, two for build, basically the setup, and then three specifically just is for the transmission of the setup, how quiet it is and how smooth it sounds. I'm not going to run the car because it's not my car. I don't want to break it, and essentially I don't want to pay for it if I break it. So we're just going to go ahead and give it a listen. So we're going to take a look at all the little pieces that are on this car, but we're not going to open it up because that's essentially just like too much work, and I don't want to have to unscrew it and rescrew it because this one looks like it seems to be locked down. So let's look at the motor real quick. Taiwan, so it's got to be a Hyper Dash, got to be a Hyper Dash Pro. I don't know what gear ratio it is, but as you can see, it is the MS Flex, all black chassis. That's pretty cool, good color combination. And then they have this fluorescent yellow theme as a sub color going on, which is pretty cool. I like that there's always like a secondary color that's added to the design. And this one, they have that plastic in there. It's an additional point of rigidity because when you start cutting the MS chassis center, it starts to get too flexible sometimes. And doing this allows you to get a little bit more rigidity back into the center chassis. That's good. They have the supports over here, 1.5 millimeter. Everything looks like it's in okay shape. Let me see, the front bumper looks like it's a sandwich of two FRP plates from what I can tell, and then it's also beveled slightly, as you can see. I'm not sure what angle that is. Let's see. And then they have the reverse mount of the bumper, which is how you want to be able to do the anchor as well. Oh, he constructed an additional plate over here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Danny, you could have mounted it the other way. That allows you to mount the brakes the other way too, because you can use that as a hole or maybe look for a different piece. But I mean, you might have been limited to the type of piece you could have done at the back. Let me see. Let's see. All right, it's good. Let's look at the front AT, which is a very popular design now. I think from when Shiga was winning in the Japan races for the Course Out Boys layouts and the tracks over there. This is one of the cars that was essentially first one there in that first year. This is very similar to that design with the sweeping FRP plate, the one that's like arced from that side. That's pretty good. And then over here, let's look at the front AT right there. That's good. It's not too tight, it's not too loose. That is well designed right there. And then they have the buckling bumper too, which is fine. This is actually pretty okay when it's locked like this. It's probably specifically for the setup of the car at the moment, depending on the track that he was going to be racing this on. And let's look at the rollers real quick. So you can see these have the extra plastic. That's actually pretty good. These have been getting a little bit more popular in Japan, where there's like a little bit of plastic insert on the where the O-ring's supposed to sit. That's good. 13, 12, and then they have like another 13 at the top. Okay, that spins all right. That's not bad. They should be spinning a little bit more. If you guys can try to make your bearings a little bit smoother. Like this one just pretty much just stops here on the front left. This one's in good shape. The weights are nice as well. And then let's see, this one seems a little too stiff. You want it a little bit less stiff, so that's not bad. Yeah, you want it a little bit less stiff so that it's fine like this, but if you can set it up so that it's a little bit less stiff, that would be a little bit better. The rear anchor, let's look at the rear anchor. Let's see, there's a little bit of play, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Ideally, you kind of want it to be a little tighter so that it's more of like this type of motion where it slides back and forth like this. And then this is fine. I mean, that's not too bad. You want it just slightly tighter. But here, let's check how it moves. That's pretty good actually. I like that. Not too tight, not too loose. That's pretty good. It looks like they have the blue. Okay, at least they did what they could, because the black ones are a little bit harder to find for the car catcher, for the rear damper right here. And it's twisted rubber that kind of holds it in place. You can use FRP or carbon there, just to keep one of those like center holes locked, but I've been using that way. I like that one too. This is fine. Let me see right there, and then we'll look at the rollers again too. These are fine. And then let's see, everything else looks okay too. The motion of the MS Flex is fine as well. It could be a little bit smoother. People have been putting the O-ring stuff now. I personally haven't built one because, you know, I just haven't had the time. I'd probably just get one of those chassis that's already pre-cut, because I honestly don't have the time to build the MS Flex setup anymore, other than if I wanted to go race again, but I haven't been able to race, so there's really no point for me to build a new one. Looks like the tires are in good shape too. Probably a combination of super hard with some what do you call it, fluorescent hards in there, but that's really more for the design. But the fact that they're super hard there is good. It gives a little bit more grip, especially on the plastic tracks like the regular 3-lane stuff. This is pretty good. And then the wheels look like they're pretty straight as well. Hold on, let's focus in a little bit better. Both of the wheels look pretty good. And then we're gonna give it a listen. One of the things that I found earlier when I was looking through this one's pretty good. So these are inserts for the battery compartment. The problem is that like it's plastic. What could have been done was, it doesn't need to be this long actually, because as you can see, it stretches from there to here. You don't really need as much of this as you can. You can put in maybe up to here, essentially, and then push it up all the way to the edge right there, and then glue it to that corner up to here essentially. And because over here, once you start putting the batteries, because of the amount of plastic that's in there, it's a little bit too tight. So watch, it's already kind of bowing out of place. right there. And then it kind of gives a little bit of a problem when it's what do you call it, being turned on. I ran into an issue earlier, but I think I got it figured out. So yes, you could see it's bowing out. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to have this much plastic in there to hold it. All right, let's turn it on and listen. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty quiet. Huh. Nice job. Not bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and actuate the suspension. That sounds good too. Let's listen to here. That's very good. Not bad, Mr. Danny. That's pretty good, sir. Your transmission's not bad at all. Maybe if you bought one of my motors, it would be a little bit faster, eh? Okay, so yeah. All right, and then the last thing that we're gonna look at is the aesthetics. As you can see, the color combination is very good. The front has the fluorescent yellow, plastic for the rollers. The tires have that fluorescent yellow stripe. The front is yellowish and then black to basically surround it. And then there's a slight fade into green. And then over here is the green translucent car catcher, which is pretty good. So just the fact that there's like a bit of a fade, not just on the paint, but also on the part colors that he's using is pretty good. I am going to dock you a little bit for that blue car catcher, but there's really not much you can do about that one because of the, part restrictions. It's hard to find the black ones. But you can do that, and then you can see there's a lot of stickers too. Tamiya does encourage you to actually have the stickers. So here there's a lot of DXN branding right there, very nicely designed right here. And if you guys know Danny, he's got a background in art, so he's actually got a pretty good what do you call it, taste in the aesthetics as well. And everything, like this plate is basically, he used it as kind of like a convenience type of thing where there's a little bit of branding on the car. Like you can still see the DXN and then the small Greddy stickers as well. Some of the Tamiya, and then the mass damper stickers, as you could see right there. And then the Amaho oil sticker, that's pretty cool. And then over here, there you go. So all the other stickers as well too, right there. And then essentially he used this plate specifically for the branding and for the sponsorship. You know, the stickers that they put on the race cars from back in the day. And then here looks like, look at the brake real quick again. And the brake is pretty good. It's carbon, at least that's good. I prefer using carbon for brakes because, you know, that makes sure that the carbon actually is biting when it's actually braking. You know, this one probably was set up for like more of like a clearance base track where there's a decent amount of banks going on. And yeah, the transmission sounds really good. Some of the changes that I would do, number one is that catch for the batteries. They don't need to be that long. They can be much smaller, and as you can see, it kind of bows out, and then it kind of, you know, gives the chassis a little bit of a torque, like a twist torque this way. And you really don't want that. You want it to be as straight as possible, just to minimize the amount of things that can change. It looks like he put AO620s. I could hear that, and from what I can tell, they're pretty smooth. They're well taken care of as well. Let me see a couple of things too. Like if you can find the carbon fully cowled piece, I would switch it to the carbon one, just because, I mean, it's lighter, and then it's also stronger as well too. These you know, typically they don't break. And then the same thing here. Switch that to carbon, although this is pretty good because you could see he even beveled the edges, so that'll minimize the amount of catch that can happen on the back. And the same thing, he did the same thing to the front. Here, Let's take a little bit of a closer look. There you go. It's also beveled here, and then the same thing is done over here as well too. That's also beveled, so that's pretty good. Essentially all the parts that are most of the parts here that are FRP, I would just switch to carbon. Just switch this to carbon. That's going to be much better. That'll minimize the amount of weight that you have going on. The same thing here. This is all FRP. It's essentially like a 3mm piece cut down and angled to be the front brakes. So switching that to carbon will make it lighter. But this front setup is pretty good. You know, there's not much you can do. And then over here, you can see this is also an FRP plate. If you can convert that to carbon, that might be better. They did sell those carbon pieces recently. I don't know, I don't remember how many months back, but if you can find those, replace those, or replace this with that, it'll minimize the amount of weight again. But everything's in order other than those. Not much you can say. This one, I don't know if there was already a replacement for carbon on this one, but I mean, I think if I recall correctly, Shige was still using FRP on his build, but that was from a few years ago now, so it's probably quite different. And let me see. There really isn't much else because the transmission's actually pretty good. So overall, your let's see, your aesthetics are pretty high. The build, there's a little bit of stuff that I would change. And then the transmission is actually much better than I thought it would be. So I'm gonna give you a B plus, sir. Just a little bit more to get the A, and then there's another level up there past the A. But essentially, the car needs to be like super perfect or like unique and effective at the same time. So if this one, if you guys see this one at the track, you guys best be aware of it too, because this is well built, especially the transmission side. So if Danny can get this car dialed in specifically for whatever track that is going to be in front of him, then it's going to be a pretty good car. All right, thanks for watching, guys. If you would like to see more videos like this where I'm going to be rating other people's cars, and if you want your car rated, you could leave it at DXN Provisions and just let them know, hey, I want Zen Blaster to go take a look at the car, and then maybe do a video or something like that where he does show his essential takes on what the car should be doing or what should be changed. But everything else looks like in order, and everything looks good and well done. Well, actually, there is one more thing. If you want a lot less weight, Danny, it's going to cost you a lot more. Aluminum lock nuts. That's all I'm going to tell you, because I know it's going to cost you like at least, I don't know, $30 or something like that to change this all over. But yeah, if you want to do that, that's up to you, man. All right, thanks for watching, guys. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please like, subscribe, and share. And thanks for watching again. Go race.